Ho, 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 here we go again. Just got our first FDIC-insured bank failure of 2024 on the books. We told you more were coming. Although, admittedly, we're definitely a few months later than I thought was going to happen. They're here, though. Joe, what are we going to do about this, buddy?
If it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to... Anyway.
As you can see, nothing to worry about. Joe has us taken care of. He's going to make sure we're all good. Do not fret. Oh, Joe. So, there must be something about this time of the year. We got the big SVB bank failure at the end of March of 2023, and that was early spring, and now again, early spring, and we have this bank failure that just happened. So we got the Philadelphia-based Republic Bank that was the bank that failed. So this one's actually close to home for me. So they were closed April 26th by state regulators, and its assets, of course, were given to the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. Now, Republic Bank's assets are being taken over by Fulton Bank. And of course, they're Lancaster-based, and this is effective immediately. And Fulton is also assuming all deposits. I was actually just in Lancaster a few weeks ago for a pickleball tournament. That is like the land of the Amish. Horses and buggies everywhere. So, Republic Bank had roughly $6 billion in assets and about $4 billion in deposits as of January 31st. They had 32 branches, and they will reopen as Fulton Bank. Now, if you guys remember, the last bank to fail was Citizens Bank, and that was based out of Sac City. That was November of 2023. We covered that with a video we did. So, if you're not subscribed, what the are you doing? Make sure you subscribe. So, why did this bank fail? Well, the rising interest rates and the falling commercial real estate values have been tough, especially for office buildings. This is, of course, because they're fighting surging vacancy after the pandemic. And this has heightened the financial risk of many of the regional and community banks. Of course, outstanding loans that are backed by properties that have lost value make them a challenge to refinance. And that's really the short story of it. The funny part is that everyone's always acting like, it's not a big deal, right? Yeah, it's okay. They were overtaken by Fulton Bank. Customers aren't affected. No biggie. But there's a much larger problem at bay here. Now, first of all, if you don't remember, they cut the reserve requirements to 0 back in March of 2020. So this means that banks went from having to have 10% of your deposits in the bank, which was already ridiculous by itself, down to 0. So if you deposit $1 million into the bank, they don't have to keep any of it on hand. It's almost like that was the point where they just kind of like threw in the towel. It's like that point that a teacher loses control of the classroom and they're like, it, I'm out of here. And they walk out. You guys are on your own. See ya. Meanwhile, this guy proposes the following.
I propose, and I'm going to digress slightly. We're in a situation. The president asked me to head up a cancer moonshot.
Jesus Christ, Joe, get it together, buddy. You're embarrassing me here. I bring you on to provide some insight and you're what's new, I guess. So anyways, another thing that's going on right now is another issue that a lot of people don't know about, and that is the Bank Term Funding Program, which was created back in March of 2023. It was created by the Federal Reserve. And yes, that is when SVB Bank collapsed. So this was meant to provide emergency liquidity to U.S. depository institutions. Basically, kick the can further down the road. And of course, this was meant to help the regional banks who borrowed over $161 billion. But the problem is the Bank Term Funding Program ended in March of 2024. And now all of these banks have to pay back all of this money over the next 10 months. And the ones that don't have it, which is most of them, if not all of them, are going to have a major problem on their hands. What happens when banks keep failing? And trust me, they will. Let's take a look at the funds of the FDIC. So as we can see here, the FDIC has a balance of $121 billion. I know, that's a lot of money. But unfortunately, it's not nearly as much money as it needs to be. So just remember the FDIC is, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation is a United States government corporation that provides deposit insurance in U.S. commercial banks and saving institutions, right? And this insurance protects the depositors by covering their balance, well, up to the insurance limit, which in most cases is like $250,000. And, if you're over $250,000, well, you're kind of out of luck. So with that said, let's go take a look at something else. So let's take a look at the total deposits from Americans based off, April 17th of 2024. You can see it's at 17,446 billion or 17.4 trillion. Well, the FDIC has funds of 121 billion. So how the hell are they going to insure 17.4 trillion? Even if you take out 5 trillion for accounts that are, over that $250,000 limit, we'll take out 5 trillion, that leaves 12.4 trillion. That's over 100 times greater than 121 billion. So basically, what that means is less than 1 in 100 people would actually be insured if things just totally start collapsing. So welcome to the banking systems of fiat currency that have been in place for a long time now, over 50 years. Things just get more and more and more out of control because the debt gets larger and we keep kicking the can further down the road. And of course, no one wants the can to explode when it's in their possession, so they just keep on kicking. But it has to explode at some point. It's just inevitable. So let us know your thoughts on this. Make sure you place a comment, subscribe. See you soon.